Senate will come to order. Good afternoon. Today's devotional exercises will be conducted by the Reverend Lincoln Sprague of Church of the Valley in Waitsfield.
Hello, it is an honor to be here today. When I first knew I was going to do this devotional, the first thing I thought was that leadership can be a lonely place. Many people will not be satisfied with what you do. And it reminded me of Proverbs 18:4, which says, "One who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother." There's a story told from World War I about two friends, Gary and Robert, who after graduating high school quickly got married to their high school sweethearts, all just for the Great War to start. They immediately signed up to serve their country, and after serving and joining, they found themselves quickly on the front lines. Well, in the trench warfare of the times, you would dig trying to get closer and closer to the enemy. And while they were doing that, all of a sudden the enemy opened fire on them, and they had to retreat to the closest trench that they had dug. They dive in, and Gary looks around for Robert, and Robert is nowhere to be found. He finds his squad leader and says, "Where's Robert?" Again, nowhere to be found. So Gary peers over the trench, and he thinks he can spot Robert. But his squad leader says, "No, you can't go back out for him. You would die too." Gary pondered for a second and then hopped out of the trench, sprinted towards Robert, got back to the trench, Robert in his arms. Robert dead already, Gary now mortally wounded. And the squad leader angrily says, "Gary, I told you not to. I knew this would happen. It wasn't worth it." And Gary said, "Oh, it was worth it. When I got to Robert, the last words he ever spoke were, 'I knew you'd come, buddy. I knew you'd come.'" Romans 5:7 and 8 says, "Very rarely will anyone die for a righteous person, though for a good person, someone might possibly dare to die. But God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." God loves you, he cares for you, and he died for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any announcements? Seeing none, we have two bills for referral, S4 and S37. These bills appearing on the notice calendar and carrying an appropriation or requiring an expenditure are under the rule referred to the Committee on Appropriations. We have a joint resolution to take up at this time, JRS 17, offered by Senator Harrison and others. Please listen to a reading of the resolution by title only.
JRS 17, Joint Resolution urging U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services to comply with the expedited asylum hearing provisions of the Afghan Supplemental Appropriations Act of 2022.
Now you've heard the reading of the resolution. The chair, in its discretion, will treat this resolution as a bill and refer it to the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs. We have Senate bills for introduction. Senate Bill 112, sponsored by Senator Bray. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
S-112, Act relating to miscellaneous subjects related to the Public Utility Commission.
Now the bill has been read for the first time and is referred to the Committee on Finance. We have S-113, sponsored by Senator Chittenden. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
S-113, an act relating to requiring gas stations and convenience stores to provide notice to customers of holds on payment at the point of sale.
Senator Kitchell may be on mute.
Senator Kitchell, if you can hear us, please mute. Okay. Thank you. We have now S-113. You've heard the first reading. That will be committed to the Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs. S-114, sponsored by Senator Gulick. Please listen to the first reading of that bill.
S-114, an act relating to removal of criminal penalties for possessing, dispensing, or selling psilocybin and establishment of psychedelic therapy advisory work group.
A noble effort. You have heard the reading of S-114, and that bill is now committed to the Committee on Health and Welfare. We have also a House bill for reference. A committee bill, H-76. Oh, I'm sorry, S-115. This is a further Senate bill introduced by the Committee on Agriculture. Please listen to the reading of the bill.
S-115, an act relating to miscellaneous agricultural subjects.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill. That will be referred to. Now the bill has been read the first time and pursuant to Rule 48 is placed on the calendar for notice the next succeeding day. And we have one House bill for reference introduced by Representative Marcotte of Coventry and passed out on February 28th. Please listen to the first reading of that bill.
H-76, an act relating to captive insurance.
Now the bill has been read the first time and is referred to the Committee on Finance. And that brings us to the orders of the day. We will be passing over S9, is my understanding, and moving to third reading of S45. We have on the calendar for reading, third reading, S45. Third reading was ordered on February 28th, 2023. Are there any amendments before third reading? Seeing none, please listen to the third reading of the bill.
S-45, an act relating to an elective pass-through entity income tax and credit.
The question before you now is, shall the bill pass? Are you ready for that question? If so, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed signify by saying no. The ayes have it, and you have passed S45. And I would look to the senator from Grand Isle for a motion.
Mr. President, I move the rules be suspended and appear on the calendar for notice H-145, an act relating to the fiscal year 2023 budget adjustment be taken up for immediate consideration, immediate action. Thank you.
Thank you. The senator from Grand Isle has moved that the rules be suspended and H-145, an act relating to fiscal year 2023 budget adjustments, be taken up for immediate action. Are you ready for that question? If so, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you have suspended the rules to take up H-145 for a conference committee report. I'd like to recognize We have for action the Committee of Conference report on H-145, an act relating to fiscal year 2023 budget adjustments. The Committee of Conference to which were referred disagreeing votes on the two chambers upon H-145 report that they have met and recommended the Senate recede from its proposal of amendment and that the bill be amended as contained in the report before you. The question before you is, shall the Senate accept and adopt the report of the Committee of Conference? I'd like to recognize the senator from Caledonia for the report of the Committee of Conference.
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe a summary of the conference committee report has been distributed. What I would say is that this is just about identical to the description of the bill as we passed it in the Senate last week. The number of changes are very, very small from the version that we passed, and I will outline them for consideration. We did make one change with money, and that was in section 106 in the Department of Corrections Justice Reinvestment. We had allocated $1 million for the offender case management system. The other body did not want to allocate the money for that purpose or make that decision at this time. And so we had concurred with their position, and we had left $1 million unallocated and available for future allocation, but with the review and recommendation of the Justice Oversight and Appropriate Policy Committee's review. We also removed some language in section 107 and 108, which was also, that language is also related to justice reinvestment, and that language was removed with agreement because it will travel and the issues will be addressed in a separate bill. We did change one date from April 1st to March 15th, and that was on the adverse weather. There was a lot of discussion, obviously, about housing and emergency housing, but the House concurred with the Senate version of our housing provisions. And then we made one small change with our child care section 88A. We wanted to make sure that there were individuals who might have a small debt, less than the 404,000, and so we wanted to make sure that we were assisting that group, even though the amount of debt was relatively small, and we removed the language that would have precluded assisting that group of workers. There were some technical adjustments on function totals conversion, some of them as small as 12 cents that got identified, and we made those corrections as part of the budget adjustment process. So I would say that except for those very minor changes of particularly just $1 million relative to the offender case management system and removal of some language and some technical adjustments, in essence, the other body is concurring with the bill as it was passed by the Senate. There are many differences there was agreement, and as I had mentioned when I presented the bill in the first place, we had more time, so we had sections that dealt with technical adjustments on the pensions and other areas that were done in agreement with the other body. So I would have to say that the changes from the bill that we passed just last week are very minor, and we hope that this body will concur. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator from Caledonia. You've now heard the report of the Committee of Conference. The question before you is, shall the Senate accept and adopt the report of the Committee of Conference? Are you ready for that question? If so, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you have accepted and adopted the report of the Committee of Conference. Senator from Grand Isle.
President, I now move the rules be suspended and H-145, an act relating to fiscal year 2023 budget adjustments be vested to the House forthwith. Thank you.
The Senator from Grand Isle has moved that the rules be suspended and H-145, an act relating to fiscal year 2023 budget adjustments, be messaged to the House forthwith. Are you ready for that question? If so, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. The ayes have it, and you have suspended your rules, and H-145, an act relating to fiscal year 2023 budget adjustments, is messaged to the House forthwith. That completes the orders of the day, and I would look to the Senator from Grand Isle.
President, subject to any announcements, I move the Senate adjourn till tomorrow, Thursday at 1 p.m. Thank you.
Senator from Grand Isle has moved that the Senate stand in adjournment until 1 p.m. Thursday, March 2nd. Are there any announcements? Senator from Bennington.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Education meet this afternoon at 1:30.
Senator from Addison.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Government Operations will meet at 1:30.
Senator from Washington.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Finance will meet at 1:30.
Senator from Essex.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate institutions will meet at 1:30.
And the Senator from Washington. Oh, I'm sorry. Senator
Wyndham.
from Wyndham, yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the Senator from Windsor, I wanted to remind the Senate that tonight at 7:30, the Farmers Night series continues, and it is singer-songwriter, Afro-jazz artist Karubo and her six-piece band. She is originally from Kenya. She now lives in Burlington, and her specialty is gospel, Afro-jazz, and blues to convey messages of hope and perseverance, which the Senator from Windsor thought we could use at this time. Thank you.
Very well done on behalf of the Senator from Windsor. Are there any further announcements? Senator from Addison.
Senate Natural Resources and Energy will meet tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
And seeing no further announcements, the Senator from Grand Isle has moved that the Senate stand in adjournment until 1 p.m. Thursday, March 2nd. Are you ready for that question? If so, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we are adjourned until 1 p.m. Thursday, March 2nd.